throughout this presentation. It is music that made up the book and not vice versa. Okay? Then secondly, as we go through the presentation, I want to give you this short experience I had with my grandson. My grandson is a truant who likes climbing trees. So I told him, I don't want you to climb that tree again. No, I've stopped. So one day he climbed and fell and injured himself. Now, when I reprimanded him, of course planning to beat him, why did you do this? Didn't I tell you that not to do that? He says, yes, you told me. He speaks in Nyanja because he grew up, I think, here, Livingston. Why did you do it? Kays mnaniuze why? Look at that answer. Just because I didn't tell him why he shouldn't climb, then he continued climbing. So now, in our presentation, every slide that will come, I think I will be pausing from time to time. Why? If we say this can't be, we must say why. We must interrogate that. Why can't it be like this, but the other side or the other way? So the why will be prominent in my questions. We begin. So this is taking it. Now just hold on there. You are too fast. Let each item come after the other. So begin. Just by taking once, I explain on something, then we move to another one. So music theory and practice. Theory and practice. We are aware that certain things, certain subjects, what you learn in theory, when it comes to applied, you find a lot of differences. Very different, differences here and there. We continue. That is just the date for I think when it's, now there is that quotation. Music is not in the notes, but in the silence between. Can we interpret that? The music is not in the notes, but in the silence between the notes. We move on. We will understand as we go on. We remember this composer. Mozart. Sorry? Mozart. Click next. That is Mozart. W.A. Mozart. Who lived only for 35 years, imagine. But look at what he produced. Within 35 years, I don't know, he must have started composing at 6 years old. But by the end of 35 years when he died, he had done marvelous works. So I wanted to begin with that episode of this great composer, who has influenced a lot of composers worldwide. We continue. Harmony. Next. Meaning, general meaning of harmony. General meaning of harmony. From the secular interpretation of that harmony. We have words like next. Agreement. When things agree, that is harmony. Next. Unity still refers to harmony. Uniformity still refers to harmony. I want us to understand from this aspect before we move into that. coherence, if things are coherent, consistently agreeing together. Next, consonants. I think that is a concept we know it appears in music from book to book. The consonants. Accord. If things are moving in one accord, there is harmony. If wife and husband are in accord, there is harmony. ETC. End of thinking capacity. Next. Okay, harmony continues, meaning. Come back now to our field, our discussion of music. Next, harmonic. We can split the word harmony into harmonic and melodic. The next one, harmonic, we are saying good combination of two or more sounds played together at the same time. But these that have the keyboard here. If he plays any two notes and it pleases our ear, that is the harmony. But certain combinations are so harsh to the ear, then there is no harmony in there. Next, I talked of harmonic and melodic. In melodic also, there is some harmony. Although someone may say, that is just a single line. How? Where is the harmony? Yeah, it's a single line. How? Where is the harmony? Let's see what he talks about. Single sounds played individually, one after the other, in a line. We have heard certain leaps from this point to that point, that leap. Certain leaps are harmonic in nature. They are okay. They are nice, you even appreciate, but others are ugly. So there is no harmony in that movement from this point to the other. Next, harmony rules. Now, harmony rules. We debated in the morning, rules. Certain books no longer call them rules, but guidelines. Why do they call them guidelines? I gave you an example of Mozart. Mozart, Bach, and Beethoven, Beethoven, are culprits in breaking the rules. Sometimes let's take time, if we have the music for these people, take time to analyze their music. They are culprits. They are culprits, yeah? Culprits. That is Rosie. They are culprits actually in breaking the rules. But they have a way of correcting those mistakes, which become now acceptable in music. I think is music the only subject that where you can break a rule, as long as you are able to correct it. Is that not so? In the other subjects, it is always 2 + 2 is equal to 4. You write 3, but here, the guideline is saying this, then you do the other thing. But now the person who is analyzing should be able to say, he did this here because he avoided this, but he came to resolve the problem here. Harmony rules, guidelines. I will just run through some of these things, especially those that are proposed. I think we have been guided by some of these things. The other thing I forgot when I began, I said, maybe I'm not just informed, but I'm inviting on board our sisters in the composition cycle. You know that sisters have the best feelings, more than a man. Our music as men are, our music is aggressive in nature, but theirs is soothing. So please come on board. Avoid consecutive and parallel fifths and octaves. We will have some examples here, but before we go to those examples, these are not scenes, if I may use that term. Consecutive fifth and the octave parallels are not sins that you commit it and you go to Gehenna. You commit them with a reason, and depending on how you have placed your consecutives, they become tolerable. I'll use that word, it's tolerable. Yeah. Not that you are allowed to break that. There is a reason why you are doing that. Let's move on. Harmony rules, guidelines, no consecutive or parallel fifth. Continue. This is an example. I don't know whether it's clear behind there. When you look at there are A, B, C. In the first one, where there are two arrows, we are saying consecutive and parallel. These two are not the same. There was a platform I saw where arguments were into what? No, this is not parallel. This is not consecutive. What? English is straightforward. Consecutive is that something that that comes repeatedly. It comes on repeatedly. That is consecutive. But parallel, as long as you just go like that. It's parallel. So in the A there, we have both consecutive and parallel. Between which notes? Let's look at in the bass clef. The first note is on what name? Let's use the names that we had in the morning. It's on F. That's a letter name. But those technical names, tonic, what? On subdominant. The bass is on subdominant and it goes on dominant. Look at the alto. What is it doing? The same. So this is referred to as both consecutive and parallel. They are moving in the same direction, maintaining the same distance in between. So there, avoid that. Why do we avoid consecutives? Remember I said I will be posing why? Why should we avoid consecutive? Maybe before we answer that one, let me finish. The second portion, it says parallel but not consecutive. Parallel but not consecutive. Now, the arrows are showing between soprano and the bass. Then it jumps on to again soprano and the bass. Let's look at that. It's not, they are parallel but not consecutive. Why are they not consecutive? Look at this note here. This one here, the C. People have always argued but have broken the consecutive by putting in a note in between. That has been their argument. No, it is not parallel because there is a note in between. But the fact is, music analysis takes these two from here to that one there as equivalent to soprano there. So it's still consecutive. Parallel but not consecutive. The third one, it says consecutive but not parallel. And that is in between soprano from C to C, bass from C to C. In fact, in terms of harmony, that harmony has not moved. Those notes have not moved. They are stagnant, they are static. They have maintained the same thing. You can even put a semi-brief there. You can put a brief there and so on. It prolongs like that on the same space. or on the same line. It only becomes parallel when they start moving either downwards or upwards. I'm sure I'm clear there now. Back to my question. Why should we avoid consecutives? They are not a sin, mind you. It's up to the composer's choice. Do I tolerate this consecutive or I leave it? Do I tolerate this parallel or not? There are certain books that allow the parallels between bass and tenor. They are saying it's tolerable. But other books will tell you never. So why? Somebody will say why. Why? Oh yes, sir.
Consecutives weaken the melodic structure. Also, they do create monotonous.
Correct. They weaken the tonal structure. The tonal structure. They deprive the parts of independence. You know, in Western music, the emphasis is on independence of each part. It must sound completely different from the other. So, immediately you bring in the parallels and the consecutives, you are weakening the strength of one part. In fifth, and if you have studied the African music, Zambian inclusive, intervals of thirds are prominent in our music. If you want to harmonize, like the song that the D was singing here, if you were to harmonize it here, we would be fast to do it, providing a fade to his melody. Yes. That is the nature of African music. Right. That is first. Second is a fifth. You will think you are singing something different from your colleague, and yet you are just a perfect fifth in between. So to the listener who understands music will say, he's just singing the same as the other one above. Yeah. Six is not common in African music. It's not common. It's now that we are adopting it. In the locals that we sing, in the locals, six is not there. You will find third and fifth, and then octave. Those are prominent. We continue. I want to spend maybe 2 minutes or 1.5 on it. No hidden consecutives. There are certain, those that we were looking at, just by a glance at a copy of music, you are able to tell here, there. But there are those that are hidden. There are those that are hidden. Only when you have trained your ear to music can you spot them out. Next. Look at these two examples. The first one shows from D. Mind you, I've chosen to use the Uncle C major. I call him Uncle C major because he is easy to manipulate. So from D to G, it goes there. Then you come to the lower part. It moves from G to C. You cannot connect very well here because they bear different scale names. You know, the other one begins on a D. This one begins on a G. And this one moves to C. The other one moves to G. So literally, they are moving on different letter names of the scale. But the fact is, they are moving actually in perfect fifth, creating consecutives and parallels. How are they moving? This is G, and that is D. All right? From C here to G, when you count the intervals, you find there are how many? 5. When you count from G to D, there are how many? 5. That is where the perfect fifth appears as a consecutive and parallel. So this one is very difficult to detect in a composition because it starts from a different note, the other colleague on a different note, then they end on different letter names. But you can correct that. I have given that correction. That is how you can correct to eliminate that consecutive. This one actually is not advisable to tolerate it because although it is hidden, it has an effect on your harmony. Move on. No dissonant lips disjunct. I think I mentioned it just when we started. Move on. Disjunct. Those that do melody or that are aware of the melody, there are two, I think, major movements of the melody. The other one is called conjunct. Conjunct, in other terms, is stepwise. Stepwise. If you have begun from G, you move to A, to B, back to A, to G, down to F, up to G, like stepwise. That is conjunct movement. Then there is disjunct, where you jump from this covering all the way to, maybe you are from D, you land on C, again you drop from C to E, and so on and so forth. So those are dissonant lips. Of course, in advanced music, I think I've seen in Mozart's arrangements, he does them. But the books restrict you. Don't do them. Why do they say don't do such lips? Here I've said from augmented, this word, is it augmented or augmented? Augmented. Oh, okay. Forgive me. I was taught by different... By Indians. So, that is the seventh, augmented seventh. I tell you, even here, if I were to ask someone, can you sing that? You may pick the lower one and miss the upper one. Or you may miss the lower one and pick the, because the interval is discordant. It is dissonance. You are not comfortable with it. The second one, you move from F there to E, which is the seventh. Again, such lips. That's where you find the choir leader, or in our time we used to call them choir masters, struggling. They are not picking him. First, to begin with, it's him who is missing it. Then he shifts the blame. It is the interval that has become a problem. So in our compositions, we are devised as a guideline. Please stick to the manageable lips. Yeah, compound lips, more than an octave. There was one song, I think, sung by this Italian tenorist, Pavarotti. Yeah, Pavarotti. There is one song that he sang. He leaps from E to A. Yeah, he doesn't miss. In professional music, they allow. But at our level, they say, don't. It is 2 minus 40 cards.
Professional and proprietary.
Yeah. So, That is no dissonant lips. Please avoid them. If you want to produce very nice music that will be attractive at first sight, certain choir leaders will look at a piece of music already disqualified because he knows it will give him hell when teaching. Next. Yeah, leading note resolves to the tonic. I think that is common. Wherever a leading note, the 7th degree of a scale. In other books, they call it a tendency note or a tendency tone. It tends to resolve, it wants to resolve. That's why in one of the methods that were mentioned in the morning, I don't know if it was formula or what, where we begin with a T and then convert into 2. Mind you, immediately you convert that into a T. That T forces you to do what? To resolve. So you must be well trained for you to shift from that T and put in a toe and then because a T tends to resolve. It pushes you to resolve. Just like a 4th degree of a scale. It also tends to resolve downwards. So those are tendency notes that must be looked after very carefully. Next. Small and harmonious lips recommended where possible. Yeah, I've already said that. Let's go. A note that appears in 2 chords that follow each other should, where possible, I'm using the word where possible, should retain its position in that very voice. I don't know how I can explain this one. Here are 2 chords, and soprano is on C, okay, in the first chord. In the following chord, you have a different chord, but which has a C in it. It is recommended that the C in soprano is maintained there if the melody is what it demands. What I've said is where possible. Because if the melody, the line on which you are providing your harmony in soprano, it has C and G. There is no way you can shift now and place another C on soprano. It changes your melody. So it is where possible. Okay? We go.
Sorry.
Next.
Sorry.
The tongue say next. Am I lying?
Yes.
Okay. Am I lying?
Yes.
Okay? Oh, we are going back.
Sorry.
Run. Okay. I think
No, it's the
resolve to a note that do not double the retaining its position, okay? Do not double the active or tension notes that require resolution. I have talked of the 4th degree, which is the Fa, and the 7th degree. Even if they are the root of those chords, because they have a tendency of resolving, you double them, they will follow, they will force you to go in the same direction because they are resolving. What I'm saying is, if you put in the bass, the T, and you put in the tenor, another T, they both notes will want to go in the same direction to resolve. So they will force you into a parallel. So do not double the active notes. They are called the active tones because they tend to resolve. The next reading, you have omitted something there. Yeah. Do not double the leading tones. They call the 7th. Okay, 7th. whether in its original form or in diminished whatever, do not double that. Because also it has a tendency of resolving. Then chromaticism, you know, certain words, even from grade 1 up to where I am, I avoid them. At primary, I was taught by a certain teacher who failed to pronounce a certain word,
Photosynthesis.
He used to say photosynthesis. And I went like that, photosynthesis, up to secondary school. Then I was laughed at. From that day, I've never mentioned it in public. So, chromatic notes. He was explaining here that where you find a sharp, you find a flat, you find a natural, you know. Please do not double those, because you have made them unstable. You have made them active. They want to resolve, they want to go to a certain point. So when you were talking about, when you find that sharp, it's modulation, it's transformation, and what's this, transposition, it's what? The correct, I think, in my opinion, it's an opinion. Wherever you find a sharp, a flat, a natural, you just suspect. That's the comfortable term. You begin to suspect. What are you suspecting? One, you are suspecting a modulation. You are suspecting an embellishment or just a decoration, bringing in a certain feeling. Okay? So whatever you do there is just suspicion until you verify whether this song has been modulated or not. Because where you find a sharp, it may cease after that. Sometimes where you find such accidentals could be a sign of bringing in a mode. We'll look at that when we come to modes. The composer wants to leave the tonal harmony or tonal music. He wants to go to modal music. So he may give a sharp there or a flat or a natural, depending on the actual key you are working in. Okay? Always double the fifth of a 6/4. That is the second division, isn't it? It's the second division. So that is a rule that is given there. Why? Why should you always double the fifth in the second division? Similarly, why? Why shouldn't you? Why should you double the fifth? Always. There's a hand. Yes, sir.
The fifth is one of the strongest sounds as compared to tonic.
Correct. It carries almost the same weight as the tonic or the root. It carries the same weight. So if in the 6/4 you double the root of that chord, that root will not be felt. Yeah, will not be felt. So that's why they say in second division, always double the fifth. Let's go. In major triads, the root is most often the best choice to double, followed by the fifth. Before we go, what do we generally agree on when the chord is in root position? Which note is supposed to be doubled? Sharp. Then in root position, which one should be doubled? Yes, sir.
The tonic and the fifth.
The tonic and the fifth. Okay? The tonic or the root of that chord should be doubled, and that is by, they are put in order, in preference order. You begin by the first one to choose should be its tonic. If the tonic can't, depending on circumstances you have found yourself in the progression, you switch on to fifth. Okay? The third in root position, because it carries the micro sounds. Thank you, my vision. They carry some overtones, the third, in root position. They may subdue the roots. Yeah. So don't do that. Next. But I'm saying don't do that as guidelines, not as a rule. I'm not yet an authority. Yeah. Avoid doubling. Avoid the doubling thirds of major triads when in root position. That word is doubling, isn't it? How do we pronounce it? Is it? Not doubling. Do we have a marker? Give me a marker. I can write here. It will be seen. So it is like this, huh? Me, I call it dowling. Why do I call it dowling? Because of this.
Doubting.
Why are we changing? Yeah, we are being unfair. The other one we are saying doubting. The other one, the doubling. Anyway, that was just a joke. That is how it's supposed to be pronounced, doubling. So, avoid doubling thirds of major triads when in root position. We have mentioned that. Next. Doubling of thirds when in first inversion may occur, but with care. There's a general rule, which I call guideline, that in first inversion, anything can be doubled, isn't it? That's what we know. You can double anything. Yes, you can double anything. You can double the root, you can double the third, you can double the fifth. But when it comes to the third, do it with care. And the options in doubling the third in first inversion is that your first option, which is the best of all the options, is that that third should be shared or should be given to parts. One part, especially soprano, which is outer, and another part inside the staff, which preferably should be tenor. Okay? Meaning, the first option, it should be soprano having the same note and tenor having the same note. So that you avoid if you give it to alto, they will run at octaves. Then you weaken your harmony there. Okay? That is the first option. The second option, give that third to bass, which is the outer, and another part in. There it can be alto, it can be tenor. We are followed there. First option is outer in. Second option, outer in. The third option is in. Okay? The third option is in. But again, depending on the distance between tenor and alto, it may not give you the best outcome of the harmony you want. The West, is it the West? No, it is an option. It's not the West. But the last option is that of out. You give the third to bass. You give the same third to soprano. You will have weakened its existence in that chord. So you can double anything in first inversion, but with care. Okay? Okay.
Just a contribution.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to the last slide.
Okay.
Yeah, on number 7, I think those points you are mentioning, I'm suggesting maybe you let them be included in the just the bullet form there.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. You have gotten them, right? You can slot in. At the end, I think you will do that because it means we have to go to the individual slides and make the correction or the additionals. But what will be given out, I think you will include those four options. Okay? Thank you so much. Sorry?
So I missed the reason why. I said they didn't get the code.
In what? In which option?
The last one.
I gave for the outer of the soprano bass. It weakens the existence of the third. The third will not be felt. Yes.
Yeah. I see on the some doubling effect in first inversion, especially if we double this. I was told by one music writer, he said, you can double the bass. The second thing is the first inversion.
You double what? The third.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And then the next chord, bass should move either one step upward or down.
When you double, you have said double the bass. With which part?
Inside the water.
In auto.
Yes.
That is bass and auto.
Yes.
Yes, that is resolving. You are resolving because when you double, you may be likely to head in the same direction and create the parallel octaves. That is why the auto may move either up or down by a leap, and the bass will move by a step. Then you will have avoided the parallels. When you are dealing with it, bass as an outer part and the auto as an inner part. Then this one is just a repeat of what is a table. Click. I left the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Diminished 7 there. I left it blank there. I wanted us to participate, but we have already participated. I wanted us to insert there in root position. When one is in root position, which part is it? Doubled. One or 5 or both, something like that. We fill that table. Then the second one is in first inversion from 1 to 7 again. I have used the B. Showing first and second inversion, there are options. You can use the figures 5-3 to indicate root position. 6-3, which sometimes just appears as a 6, indicating the first inversion. 6-4 and second inversion. In other options, you may use letters. If it's 1, you either say 1A, small a, or just 1. Then you go to B, the small b, indicating the first inversion. Then you go to C, indicating the second inversion. Do we have the third inversion? Huh? I expected no, because that's what most people believe in, that there is no third, because the book they have read has ended on the second dimension. Anyway, that is topic for the future. So this is the table we have seen there in 6:4. It is 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. But again, an emphasis where the seventh is diminished there. The computer I was using, I couldn't put that a small zero per 7 to indicate that it's a diminished chord. Okay? That one, most preferably, it is the third. Most preferably, it is the third. Even a diminished second, if it's diminished, it's the third. Why don't we go for first and fifth? Maybe we begin with the diminished seventh. In the scale of Uncle C major. It is G, what's that? It's B. Okay, now B is G and B, isn't it? Now B is a cadence note. Okay, it's a cadence note. That's why you may not, or in fact you cannot double it. But you go to the third in the diminished, it's actually a member of the primary chords. Is that not so? The third of the diminished. Let's be together. You are beginning from T. Next is Do. The next is Re, which is the third. The fourth is what? Mi. The fifth is Fa. So you opt for the Re because it appears, one of the reasons is that it's a member of the primary chords when you talk of the dominant. Okay? Next. Never leave out the root and the third in a chord. Why? Why shouldn't you leave out the root and the third? Whether they are ugly or they are beautiful. Yes.
Determine the chord you are dealing with.
Correct. That one is correct. You leave out the third, then your chord is chordless. It has no legs, it is not standing anywhere. So the third and the root must be present. Whether you extend your chord to 7th, 9th, 11th, 13th, make sure that these two must be there to identify, for easy identification of the chord. Never overlap parts. Never overlap. I saw this arrangement again. Was it in Handel? Where the soprano went below and then alto above. Is a culprit.
Yes.
But as a general guideline, avoid overlapping parts where soprano may go above the soprano, or even the bass going above the tenor. Then I don't know what you are creating. Fumbi in Italy, that is fumbi. Stay in the accepted voice range. I think in the voice range, it's connected to the acceptable lips. In the voice range, I think we know soprano, according to the books, they say they can begin from below middle C, somewhere B there or G. They can go as high as ZTA, somewhere there. That is their voice range. They are saying when you are writing, bear this in mind. Do not stretch the singers. You are there on the be natural. Above the stuff, be natural. Those must be ghosts.
Finger extension.
You start pointing, even the choir leader now will be saying, hey, he's forcing the choir members to reach when he's failing. So, let's go. No more than an octave between the upper voices. No more than an octave between the upper voices. The upper voices here is soprano and the alto. So avoid widening them beyond an octave. The soprano is at E, for example, the upper E. Then you put the alto on D. It sounds ugly or bare. Yeah. Next, good voice leading always takes precedence over doubling. We come to a certain question that was it raised some dust. No, we must follow the rule. We must follow the rule. That's why I asked, which one began, the book or the music? We all agreed that the music started. Then from the music, the books were written. That is why this writer, I think I got this from a book written by Gatiska, is it Gatiska, something like that. And the others, there were 3. That's why they have written. And another one again written by Benoit, is it Benoit? Yeah, good voice leading takes precedence. Voice leading implies or points to your harmony, the harmony that you have created. Is it how you want it to sound? If it is, then the rule can be broken. You know, because that is what you want as a composer. That is what you want. Immediately you depart from there and then you lose the feeling you wanted there. So that's why they are saying voice leading takes precedence over rules. Intervals. We are done with the harmony. Maybe I just run it through, because if we start questioning, we will delay. Let me just run through. Intervals. Interval meaning distance in pitch between notes. Distance between when arranged between this note and the other note. In the previous examples, you remember where I put the augmented seventh. Yeah, that was the interval between this note and the D flat there and the C. Okay, that was an interval. What is that? Oh, in melodic order. Yeah, these intervals, you can have them in melodic order from as you are moving from. For example, you are writing a song. The soprano begins on G in angle C major. Begins on G. Okay. If the next note is on G again, that is considered an interval. Is considered as an interval also of a perfect octave. Yeah. If it shifts up from G to A, now it becomes an interval of a second. You go on and on and on and on. Let's go. The writings are okay. Harmonic order. Harmonic order now refers to the arrangement in vertical form. We already heard of the triads in the morning. I think someone mentioned. In that vertical order, where you put the root, the third, the fifth, the seventh, the ninth, the what, the intervals in vertical order. Yeah. That is what we refer to as the interval. The relationship between any two notes. The relationship between any two notes. Next. intervals types. Okay? Harmonic, when 2 or more notes are played to, yeah, you are killing my eyes. Where are we? When 2 or more notes are played together at the same time, that is the harmonic interval. When you are playing, if he comes on the keyboard and plays 2 or 3 or 4 at the same time, what is sounding in between these notes? It's harmonic intervals. Then melodic, when 2 or more notes are played in succession, one after the other. Okay? Names. These intervals are identified in terms of quantity and quality. In terms of quantity and quality. Okay? Quantity is when you are counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is quantity. For example, take an example from Uncle C major. From C to the top C, you are counting actually from C to D, 1. D to E, 1. E to F, 1. When you add up, you make those intervals 7 to the 70th degree, 7 then to the octave. That is quantifying. You are considering the intervals in quantity form. Okay? But the other one is the quality. When intervals are determined by whether they are major, augmented, or diminished. When you begin to name the intervals as whether they are major or minor, diminished, augmented, and so on, then you are naming them by quality using the quality approach. Okay? For example, we say from C, and call C major. C to E, we say that is a major third. So we are naming that interval in quality form, a major third. You put a flat on E, it becomes what? Minor third. Okay? So intervals, quantity form, I think it is there from C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, like that. So those are named as first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and the octave. That is quantity. Now, quality, I have included down there, MJ, that's major. Major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, major seventh, and the octave. Okay? Move on. Why intervals may be used or may be invented? We come to inventing the intervals. Okay? For easy identification of the particular interval. In the example that I gave, I hope it remained in your mind, where I put a flat second, I think, D to 7. That was the augmented seventh. Okay? That was augmented seventh. You remove that flat, it becomes the major seventh. Okay? Major seventh. Now you can swap those two. Bring that C, where the C was, bring it below the D. Then you have, it was a major seventh, it turns into a minor second. It becomes a minor second. That is what we call interval inversions. Okay? So, this table shows that it's a summary of how the intervals change names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are saying major second, major third, perfective fourth, perfective fifth, major sixth, major seventh. When you invert these, they become minor, minor second. It has gone out. Oh, yeah, just that one. Yeah, it shows this is the major second. When inverted, it becomes the I'm pointing where it has gone. It becomes the minor seven. Yeah. You see this? So, when you invert that, when it was second, major second, you invert it, it becomes the minor seventh. If it's a major third, you invert, it goes to minor sixth. Some scholars even made some shortcuts, and when you add the minor and the major, you get 9. You add the major and the minor, 9. All of them, because it's just an opposite with different figures. Okay, let's go. I wish I had plenty of time to myself so that we go into details, but I'm running against time. Major intervals become minor intervals when inverted. That's the summary of that table. Minor intervals become major intervals when inverted. Augmented intervals become diminished when they are inverted. Diminished intervals become augmented when inverted. Let's go. Triads, the building block of a chord. Okay? Every chord is built upon a triad. A triad, like the table itself, refers to three components, so 3 members. 3 notes starting in consecutive thirds from the root to the third to the fifth. Okay, also called a chord. I heard in the morning, we're trying to avoid calling a triad a chord until you add another note. Anyway, yeah, but there's nothing wrong in calling a triad a chord, except that it is a chord that is not incomplete when you are talking of 4-party harmony. It is just not yet complete when you talk of 4-party harmony. But it is already a chord. Yeah. Also called a chord. Next. Also called a harmony. Just playing around with language there. Okay. Parts of a triad. I think our colleague elaborated on that one. The root, the lowest note of a triad. Third, the middle part of a triad. Fifth, the highest note in the triad. We move on. We know these things. So that is an illustration. Okay? Triad. Example, in Uncle C major. 53rd and root. Next. Okay? This is the facets of a triad. Facets means the parts. Okay? Parts. Facets. We have major, minor triad, major triad, minor triad, diminished triad. That is in tonal music. In tonal music or diatonic scale. That's how we label them. The major, the root becomes the major. The one that follows is minor. The one that follows is also minor. The one that follows is perfect. It's major, fourth, major fifth, and so on and so forth. Then in the inversions here, the same triads in root position, we indicate 5, 3, or 1. The first inversion we indicate 6, 3, or 1B. Remember what I was talking about. Second inversion, we say 6/4 or 1C. Okay? Why inverted triad? Why? Why can't you just continue in your root position going up? The song begins to be sad. Why should we invent? In deco? Is it just for the decoration? Yes.
One is to avoid the consecutives and
Correct. Correct. If you make one chord in root position, follow the other chord in root position, chances of you landing into consecutives are 100%. They will, on their own, those chords on their own, they will force you into a consecutive. So to avoid that, you invent this other chord. Okay? To create a smooth flow of the music. Triads also help. For example, if this chord is in root position, the second one is in first inversion. When you observe the bass becomes stable in terms of repeat. Yeah. Sometimes if you get from root position to 6/4, unless otherwise, the interval between the first note in bass and the second note in bass may create a unstable interval. Yeah. But bass, they are saying, is a freelance. Bass is a freelance traveler. It can shoot and join the tenor. It comes back. It goes into that note which is existing in the achievement verse solo. They will dust. You study. Yeah. So, to improve on quality of the harmony, the triads were invented. For example, a harmony in root position is thicker than when the same chord is in first inversion. Have we noticed that? Yes. In root position is thicker. You invert it in first inversion, it becomes lighter. So to improve on the quality, to avoid unnecessary harsh lips, I've explained, especially with the verse. Yeah, although it's a freelance, it's a free traveler, but sometimes you control. To allow smooth transition from one chord to the next. In the example I said, if one part has C, the next one has C, maintain, that is smooth transition. You achieve it when you invent triads. Okay? Chords. Am I near finishing? I'm tired. A chord meaning a combination of three or more. Again, we are getting back to the triads. Okay? The chord and the triad are inseparable. You cannot talk of a triad, exclude chord. You cannot talk of a chord, exclude triad. A combination of three or more notes, a triad makes a building block called the chord in the scope. Yeah, almost a repeat of what is there, just a demonstration of the inversion there. Major, minor, 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 when inverted down there. Okay? Chord progression. Another topical issue, or what is it? It's called that, or dishonors issue. Oh, this can't, like that. So, chord progression, this is the movement of chords, one after the other in succession, in a more pleasing manner. The underlying word here is in a more pleasing manner. Remember, voice reading takes precedence over the rules, over Dawing. Yeah. So, this is the movement of chords, one after the other, in succession, in a more pleasing manner. Next. This shows which chord may or may not follow or be followed by which chord. Here we are guided. You may exercise on your own by you. Then you listen to what you have. You prove that actually what they are saying. If you follow that, you get something very, very nice. Okay. Recommendations. There are recommendations on how chords may follow each other. Let's go. This is a summative recommendation. Again, using Uncle C major. I've taken the Uncle C major because that is the shooting point for all the keys. So here we are told the arrows, you have seen the one there at the end. And then after the one, there are those broken arrows. Meaning that from one, you can land on any chord. It's like the queen on chessboard. It takes any direction. So even there, one takes any or takes on any neighbor. So assuming that you are beginning with 3, 3 may move to 6. 6 may move to either 4 or 2. Then 4 or 2 may move to diminished 7 or the dominant, the 5th. Then 7, diminished 7 may go to 1, or the 5 may go to 1, especially the most should I say abused progression, potential point of 1, 4, 5, 1. It's very common in our music, 1, 4, 5, 1. We feel, sure.
Those chords, we can play these chords.
Oh, you can play the chords.
So we just keep on
You will see that if he plays them, you choose when you come to 4 or 2, you just pick one, so that they listen how they follow each other. They give you a piece of direction. I think my song can go this way, my song can go that way. But again, we are not talking, let me clarify one point before he does it. I'm not saying that in a song, all these chords must be there. That's what I'm not saying. That's what I'm not saying that.
Not saying that one.
Not saying that one. What I'm not saying that one is.
Not saying that one. Not saying that one. This
is just a guide. But you can, in your song, you can finish your song with only 3 chords. Out of that, it is up to you. You can use the primary chords, the 1, 4, 5, and you end up your song. If you want, you can use 1, 4, 5, include maybe one of the minor. Your song is finished. So it is not mandatory that in your song all these chords must be. The song again sometimes becomes restless.
But some composers put wrong there.
Some
composers put wrong there. We have got a composer who has written a 99-page song.
Yeah.
Prince Zero.
You know,
Yes.
that is wandering afar from the. Yeah. So that is the slides will be shared. I think the technicians know how to do it. We have seen that one, right? Yeah. Let's move on. So you play. You.
I'm starting on the 3rd.
Okay. Start on the 3rd.
Okay, which is in the C.
Which is the
Microphone closer.
Go to 6. You hear that? Go to 4. You hear that? Go to 5. Then 1. You are done.
Don't steal that bad man.
The song is complete. So next, cadences. Yeah, cadences. I think on cadences, again, when you hold certain books, they have given different names, but meaning the same thing. Yeah. So what I have picked may not be what you are used to, but listen to what it does or what is contained in it, whether we are compatible or incompatible. Yeah, a cadence marks the end of a phrase or the entire piece of music. That's a cadence. It is usually created by the last two chords. The last two chords across a bar, which is masculine. When you check all my songs, I've never used the feminine. I don't know. Sisters, I don't hate the sister, but they say it's a weak cadence. The masculine is the one that crosses a bar. The 5, if you are using the 5-1, the 5 will be in the preceding bar, and then the 1 falls in the next bar. But when you are using the feminine, the 5 will still be in the same bar, beginning of the bar. Then before the bar it ends, 1 comes. We have seen those songs, right? Yes. Yeah. Where even in conducting, the hand ends
On the side.
on the side. So that is a weak cadence. But I'm not saying it is not sweet. Don't say I've condemned it.
Depends on the test.
It depends on the test. Okay? The cadence can be synonymous with a punctuation mark in the subject of language. In music, we use punctuation marks that are known as the cadences. We continue. A cadence provides the resolution or closure to a melody, harmony, or entire piece. It may give you some sense of temporary stoppage, demanding that something must follow. Yeah. Although in secular music, in jazz, in pop, in what other secular music, rock and roll, certain songs end when you expect it to continue. Yeah. You cannot condemn that. That is their cadence. Okay? Cadence is commonly used perfect, authentic cadence. Now these the types. Perfect, authentic cadence. In other books it just says perfect cadence. Okay? Then the other books will say final cadence. It's the same one and the same thing. That is the one that ends with 5-1. Play it. You have heard that, huh? Sorry? Or you began before? Okay. That's 5-1. Okay? Yeah. Then the next thing, that one gives the ear a final closure of your works, unless you just want to take another. There are those songs you say, and now it has ended. You hear them again, take another one. So imperfect, authentic cadence. Imperfect, just like something like the opposite of the perfect, authentic. That one ends with 5-1, but both chords are not in root position. Okay? But chords not in root position. They do. The 5 is not in root position. Maybe it's in in 63 or in 64 as passing chord, and then it ends in a 1, which is also not in root position. But it gives you a sense of, I think it has ended here, but it indicates that it's still continuing. That's an imperfect, authentic cadence. Sorry, or it demonstrates. You'll be able to relate. Yes. Yes. There. He tried again. You hear that? The one there, the soprano is ending, not necessarily on the tonic. It may even end on the 3rd or the 5th. Then the bass also, not on the root, it goes to something else. So while it is using the 5-1, but the arrangement of the chords are not implying the finality. Then the plano cadence, which is also known as the Amen cadence. It's a final cadence also, but its mood is that of Amen. There's a certain Tumuka song, it's not mine, let me not claim ownership. I just heard it when I went to Ndazi. I got interested in it. Then I came and put it on paper. Okay.
Sorry.
That's a 4-1. That's a 4-1, right? Okay. Yeah. That is a plateau cadence or the Amen cadence. The next, deceptive or interrupted. Deceptive, it deceives you into believing now the song is being ended. But with some of you, somewhere. 5 always indicates it wants to resolve. The 5 is a tendance chord. The 5, wherever 5 appears, tends to want to go back to the husband, the one. But where you hear it going to 6, it has deceived you. That's why it is known as deceptive or interrupted. It's just interrupted there. Okay? I think. Yeah, or you play it. The 5-6.
Or deceive us if you don't mind.
Again. You hear that? It was ending, it was showing as if it is ending. But we start to look a few, it jumps to another. This is the Uncle C major. It jumps to something else, to his relative minor. Then there is a half cadence. The half cadence is any chord preceding 5. Any chord preceding 5. Yeah. You can play 1 to go to 5. It becomes a half cadence. You can play 2, especially in the first inversion of 2. It goes to 5. It is called the half cadence. Any chord, but more commonly in modern music, of any chord following 5, It is more common in modal music than in tonal or diatonic. Next. Okay. I was talking of masculine and feminine. That is how the two cadences end. The masculine crosses a bar, 5 in this bar, then across the bar into 1. The feminine within the same bar. Okay? Next. Then the structural form of it, the perfect and imperfect. The perfect here, soprano ends on the tonic. Both modes are in good position. That is perfect. But imperfect, soprano ends on a note other than the tonic. It's just an illustration of what we have talked about. Next. Sure. Oh. Modes. Now, modes. This will answer some of the questions that were asked in the morning. And please let's follow attentively on modes. Modes are sometimes referred to as modal music. Just like in the scale side, where it is the diatonic or tonal music. Tonal music. Okay? Now, this mode is a type of scale, just like in the sofa arrangement. It's just, the arrangement is very, very similar, if I may put it that way, of that of a scale and that of a mode. We'll find the difference as we move. Changing just one note makes the scale a mode. You remember when I said, wherever you find a sharp within the scale, you have begun with the angle C major. But somewhere you find a sharp, you begin to do what? To suspect. You don't conclude there, you suspect. What is the composer doing here? Is he modulating? Is he transposing? Is he bringing in a mode? And which mode is he bringing in? Okay? Each mode evokes its own mood with unique color and sound. Yeah. Why do we say the songs for that man are very unique compared to the songs by the other man? It's because these two composers could be using different modes depending on what mood they want, because each mode evokes a different feeling. Yeah. Let's go. It's used in certain types of music, e.g. jazz, rock, country, pop, etc. When I was looking at this music, I was given an assignment to come up with a song that I suspected was in a particular mode. Well, I didn't understand it very, very well that time. But peradventure, by grace of God, I landed on one of Michael Jackson's songs, The Thriller. The Thriller. If you are a fan of Michael Jackson, you may remember that song. Vivanda, what, and so on. But when he begins to, he played it on the Dorian mode. Now, we'll check the differences. It's used in certain types of music, e.g. jazz, rock, country, pop, etc. Modes are also used in prayer and worship. Yeah, in prayer and worship. On one of the platforms that we were sharing music some time back, someone even commented, these songs, what I'm seeing are full of modes. Then the other one questioned, what do you mean? I said something is needed here. Okay? Modes originated from the ancient Greece. All the modes, there are 7 in number. We have the Ionian mode, which stands in place of the tonic. If we are to look at this, Uncle C major. Okay? Uncle C major. Place your door on C. Then that C, in modal music, it is referred to as the Ionian. Ionian. A-O-N-I-A-N. Ionian. Then the second, which is the supertonic in our scale arrangement. The second one, which is supertonic. In modal music, it is referred to as the Dorian, which Michael Jackson picked on Thriller. Okay? The third one, which we call the Median, there they call it Phrygian. Phrygian. Then the fourth, which we call sub-dominant, they call it Lydian in modal music. The one we call dominant, they call it Mixolydian. Okay? The one we are referring to as submedian, they call it the Locrian. The Locrian. Okay? Then the last, the seventh, which we call the leading, they call it the some of these Greek names. Ionian. I avoid that. In fact, I don't use it because here is a 70. It troubles. So this is how the modal music is arranged with those names. Now, those names are Greek names of geographical areas. During the ancient Greece, they demarcated or they put music or they identified music according to geographical areas. These scholars would go to this area, which was called Locrian. They find the type of music that is there is different from the one they have found at Dorian. Yeah. So they started identifying music according to geographical areas, bringing it to our situation here.
Sir, just to, I think to get some insight.
Yes, sir.
So the way the sparrow is shaking.
Aha. Correct.
And if you mbuza in.
Correct. Yes. That is exactly what he's saying. In our scenario here, we could have called Undazian, Wapulayan, Northwestern, and so because that is the type of music that is there. And for your information, Mozart adopted that approach.
Because he was a choker.
Adopted that. A lot of scholars, including those philosophers we hear, Plato, in his area of philosophy, he adopted these modal arrangements, but in their area of field. Let's go on before we forget. The major scale, Ionian, and the natural minor scale, Ionian. Negotiating. Yeah. Oh, get back to it. Yeah, to eat, back to it. So, this is how they move modal music and the scale music. The same C, tonic C, is the Ionian in modal music. Now, the difference between these modes and the tonal music or diatonic music is that diatonic music has what we have been debating since morning, the rules. they are very strict in tonal music or diatonic music than in modal music. In tonal music, certain chords are more important than the other. That's why we have major, what. In modal music, all note, chords are the same. They are the same. That is the only major difference between a modal music and the tonal music. Let's continue. So how do we identify this? This is how I put it: Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Missolidian. When you would plot the scale of C major, you will find they are just names that are defined. Yeah. So now their arrangement, I have used these letters. WWHWW is not a website. It stands for ho, half, ho, like that. So when you are arranging your music in modal order or in modal music, bear in mind these intervals. That the first interval is ho, the next interval is ho, the third is half. Here intervals we are talking of from this to there. That's why I put the W there, because I'm looking at this distance. We are following, eh? So it is ho, half, ho, half. That is Ionian. So when you compare that scale to C and C major, is there any difference? No. Nothing. It's the same. It's the same. But why do people leave this and C major and still go to the modal arrangement? Let's go to the next. So I have listed them here in that order. You know, the arrangement of modal music is that it can start on any note. Previously or before, early, in the early times of music, whenever you went into Dorian arrangement, you never existed in any other scale. But the problem came on finishing, finding the ending. Because when you look at this, it begins on Dorian, which is supertonic. When you go with that arrangement, it ends on supertonic. So, ending in church yakana, it leaves people in suspense like that. But that is the arrangement of modal music. Each note of the C major scale is a mode on its own. Okay? Let's continue. There's something that can assist. Creating a mode within the same major key is much simpler. I was saying the early music arrangers used to, if he says, I'll do music in Dorian mode, it will just be Dorian mode, and the scale will begin from D there, the supertonic. How it ends there, no one knows. But then later, I think during the time of the Bach, is it Bach or Bach? That's Bach. Okay. Yeah. During the time of that composer, he is the one who said, instead of preparing these modes separately, why not create a mode within an existing key? Okay? Within an existing key. You are in C and C major, but you are playing in Dorian mode. You are playing in Lydian mode. We'll see. Let's go. You don't need to create a mode as if you are creating another different key. Okay? Any given mode can be created and be felt within the same key being used. What it means is that you can be in G major, within that G major, if I want the Dorian mode to be heard, I'll put it there. If I want the Locrian mode to be heard there, I'll create there. But how? Let's go. As shown earlier, the following guide makes it possible to establish a mode in a particular key. Modes, intervals, okay? Just go on, clicking until they are 7. That is how they stand. Now look at the pattern. The Ionian mode, which stands exactly the same as the Uncle C major, is the ho, half, ho, half. And that is exactly what appears in the C major, because the T do, that's the H. The Mi fa, that is the H there. But now when you move to Dorian, because that is supertonic, then the pattern changes. Instead of 2 holes, you have 1 hole. It becomes the ho, H, ho, half, ho. Because now you are ending on the supertonic. Okay? Then when you go to Phrygian, which in our scale, it is the third of the C major, which is the Mi. Okay? It begins with half. Because it goes from Mi to Fa to F, it's half. It goes then ho, half, ho. Just like that until you reach the end. So you can imagine, if you are, for example, you want to create a song in Locrian, then you create a mode, a scale like in Locrian. It means you begin on A and you end on A. You will not be different from the relative minor of C major, isn't it? Yes. If you created the Locrian from A to A, you would be singing the relative minor of C major. Then why go for Locrian if you are singing the same thing that Uncle C major has? Okay? So, let me move on to the next. Okay. Lydian mode in C major. Remember, Lydian mode corresponds to the third of C major. The F, the fourth chord in the C major. That is the Lydian. Okay? Now, you want to create the Lydian mode within C major. The scale begins there in time signature 3-2. It begins, you have begun your song on C, it goes to D, it goes to E, it goes to F. Okay? Now, if it went like that, it would be C major, isn't it? But you want to write it in Lydian mode. Now, Lydian mode, you must create, give us the